Yeah, hi everyone. Today we're going to discuss about the few commands which we has been used for Webdriver IO. Let me show the agenda. And today we're going to discuss about set value, get test, and other click commands. These three commands how we can use in the Webdriver IO. We can be check into the practical part. The installation and the setup has been discussed in the previous videos. Let I'm going to the direct into the practical. I'm using as a Visual Studio Code for developing purpose. First, I'm going to create the test file, which is you can able to write in Mocha test cases. The extension need to be as a JS. This is it will be because the WebDriver will support in JavaScript. So the framework we are using is a Mocha. So the content needs to be the scripting and everything need to be in the describe and as an Git format. So let me discuss about that. In this it we are writing a test case. How we are using the test ng as an at test like that in the same format we have to use in the Mocha as in it. So I'm going to give the message what it need to be generate. So inside this we have to start the scripting. Here I use a slash. So here the slash will be representing the website URL. It is picking from Wdio config file. From here the base URL, it will be picking from the base URL. Let me launch this and we'll check whether it has been working or not. And it was saying some error. We'll check it that what is that error. Expected command. We'll check this. Yes. So we missed that. So we have missed that open parenthesis. I mean closed parenthesis here. Now the error has gone. Now open the terminal and run this JS file with the help of npm test. Here it was launched Wdio CLI command line interpreter. Execution of two spec files started. Why it has been running two spec files? Let me see. Okay, it having a two specs. That means two files which is generated by automatically by Wdio. So we are not be required for this. So we can delete this one and we can kill this execution. It asking terminate batch job. I will give yes. Give yes. Let me close this browser. Close. Close. Yeah. And it going to be shut down all the executions. Let me rerun again. Now only one spec file will be generated. That means we having in test for in spec folders we having only one. So it will generate only this file test-website.js. Let me rerun this. Now rerun. Again type npm test. Execution of one spec file. Desired capabilities Chrome acceptance as a true. Now the Chrome browser has been started. Let me click on this. Some error has been came. One failed. Okay, modular Babel registry can't get loaded, or you're sure you installed it. So currently we are not using the Babel. We'll discuss about the Babel later. Let me uninstall that. From go to package.json. Check for the Babel. Babel is not installed, but I mentioned in config file, I think so. Let me go to config file. Type Babel. Okay. Let me comment out this. Babel require, and let me rerun. Let me save this. Type npm test. One spec file has been started. Desired capabilities. Chrome has launched. Let me see. Yes, now it is loading. Amazon.in. Now it launched at Amazon.in. Still it is in loading stage. Yes, successfully it launched and it closed. And check the spec reporter. Now website has been opened and one passing because we have wrote only one test case and it got passed. Because of this slash, the URL is getting from the Wdio config file. From the to base URL, let me give that. Yeah, here it is. Let me copy this, or let me delete. We'll check what be the happening. If you run, the browser will be launched, but it won't launch any URLs. See, we didn't get any URL, and it was generated as invalid URL, invalid URL of slash. We can paste this URL in our test case. Let me check whether it has been run. It will be run or not. Save this and rerun npm test. Well, now it was running Amazon.in and still it is loading stage, and it launched and it closed. So we can be defined in Wdio config file, or we can be defined in our test case. For time being, I'm using in here itself, and I'm removing in test case. As per the agenda, we had to be check for set value, get test, and click. So first I'm going to set the value. Let me open Amazon website. In search bar, let me inspect the search bar for a web element. I'm using an ID. Let me check how many places it was coming. If it is single place, we can go for this. Two matches. go with class name. We'll check that. It coming in one place, that to any input tag. We copy the tag. I'm using a CSS selector. It won't be getting. Let me check. CSS is not identifying. Okay, I will go with the next path. My bad, I given the spelling mistake. Oops, it given the correct one. Let me copy this. Go to workspace, Visual Studio Code. Now define the now define one constant search bar. Now we are passing an because the search bar is an input tag, so we can pass any text into this because the input, so we can pass any text like let me type an iPhone 11. So we are getting some pop-ups. I mean, we are getting some drop-down cases, cover, back cover, like that. So, iPhone 11. Let me type the same by using a script. Copy this. Go to Visual Studio Code. Now use this const variable search bar. Type a search bar. Now the method set value iPhone 11. So let me try whether it is executing or not. Save. Control S. npm test. Execution of one spec file. and going to open desired capabilities. Yep, it has opened. I'm waiting for the browser. Browser has been launched. Open. Waiting for the URL. URL has been entered. Website has launched. Website has now opened, but it doesn't fill. Con call set value on element with a function of set base element wasn't found. So there is an issue related to the set value. We'll check that. Okay, let me try with the different. Let me clear the terminal first. Let me try with a different element locator. Let me try with ID, whether it may come or may not. We will check it that. So we are using ID, right? So we had to be mentioned with an hash symbol. Let me run. If you put semicolon or may not be, it's an optional in a JavaScript. Let me run this. Let me open terminal. New terminal. We can use the shortcut control shift tick, which is the below the tick is below that escape key. Checking for the directory. Yeah, it got it. Let me run npm test. Execution of one spec file. And browser has launched. URL has entered. It entered in search bar. We will put some weight here so we can check whether it is been entering or not. The test case has passed. That means it has an iPhone 11 has entered in search bar. We'll check it by putting some weight. In Selenium, we are using thread.sleep. Here we had to be use browser.pause. See, it has been saying as in it need to be as a milliseconds to be in the number. So we can give it as a 5000 milliseconds. So that means 5 seconds. So the browser will wait for 5 seconds and later it will be closed automatically. Let me save. Let me clear the terminal. npm test. So see, we have entered an iPhone 11 in search bar. So and it closed and the test case has passed. Now we'll go and check for the next command, which is a get test. I'm using a one more test case. For that, I'm using a one more hit block. I'm using an arrow function. Let me check for the element locator for test. Let me refresh. Yeah, I'm going to get an test of this particular element. Select your address. Let me take an element locator for that. Copy the element locator. Let me paste. I didn't copy it properly. Let me go there. By using get test, you will get the test of that particular element and it will be stored in a variable. I'm using the variable as a let scope. Element test is equal to. So The element will be stored in this variable, and we can use in console.log. In Java, system.out.println we has been using for get an output, to get an output of a test. Now we are using console.log text element plus element test. Let me clear the terminal. Now run npm test. Execution of one spec files. Waiting for the capabilities. Desired capabilities has been matched. Browser going to be launched. Browser launch. URL has been entered. Page loading. iPhone 11 has entered. Browser has closed. And the second test case has failed. We check the issue why it has been. Can't call get test on element within the element locator. Okay, we given as an ID, but we didn't use an hash, so it is not be located it as an element. So make sure for ID we have to use an hash. If it is a class, we have to use a dot. And rerun npm test. Execution of spec file has been started. These are capabilities. Waiting for the listening port. Listening port has been detected. Browser has launched. URL as enter. Web page is loading. So in Wdio, the browser will launch automatically and the browser will close automatically once the test cases has been complete execution, may pass or may fail. So the web page has launched. Entered iPhone 11. Search results has been came. Browser is waited for 5 seconds and it has closed. And 2 test cases has passed. Let me check whether the get test has been worked by getting an element test. We'll use this my test element as searching purpose from the terminal side. My test element, give search. We'll check here. Yes, it entered. My test element, select your address. So we can able to get them get test element. Now the last agenda of this click. We'll check the click command. You can write in one more test block. Click on the element using arrow functions. Close with parenthesis. Const name to be as an click element is equal to element is equal to. Why I'm using dollar sign here is in Selenium here with a driver dot find element. Here browser dot find element is nothing but browser dot dollar sign. Dollar is representing and find element. Double dollar is representing and find elements. Let me check for the element locator, which I can able to click. Hmm. Let me check this one, mobiles. I'm going to click on this mobiles. So I'm using the contains. Here the mobile is an href, that is an anchor link. So if you click on that link and once you click on this link, we'll see what will be happen. It will launch the mobile page. Okay, I'm using this XPath which contains having the contents method. I'm using double quote for mobiles to avoid an error. So now I'm going to click on an element. Element dot So the web page will be launched in the same page. So we no need to use in any window handles. So we can be make it can check and we'll run this. We clear the browser. I mean we clear the terminal CLS. My PC is little bit slow. That's why I'm pausing and recording. Sorry for inconvenience on that. Let me run npm test. These are capabilities as open. By using Wdio, we can do some reporting activities. So we will discuss on that in the coming videos or coming sessions. Browser is launching. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I'm going to provide the links for the how to do that installation setup, which has recorded in the previous videos. So you may follow that. It will be helpful. Well, it was launching the Amazon.in. Well, it going to be launched and searching for an element, entering iPhone 11. Wait for 5000 milliseconds. On mobiles, and the mobile page has launched. Well, it has working fine, and it's going to shut down the browser. Well, so we can check the spec file. How many has been passed? Scroll down. So whatever we mentioned, the open the website is the describe message, and the website open. This is a test case and get test of the element. This is then test case. This is then test case name, and this is then one more test case name. So we can be get in this format. This is with the spec report, and it will be saying there's in pre-passing and pre-failing. One passed and one torture means it was giving the entire. If you have the 10 spec files, that means I mean 10 JS files. If you run the 10 JS files, it will be given. If it 5 passed and 5 failed, it will give them 5 passed and 5 failed, and total as a 10. Like that, it will be calculated. So it will be depends upon the feature file. I mean, because depends upon the JS files execution. And this is the one total. And the time taken to be executed, it has been as 2 minutes 1 second. So this is be the report we can get it. This report will be known as, we'll check that, info. If you give the log level as an info, these are all contents, call it as a logs, so we can give it as an info. If you give it at a silent, we'll get only this area of the report, we won't get the log level. So this will be the about our agenda has been covered. Set value, get test, and as well as click. The WebDriver I will call it as a Wdio also. And yeah, that's it. I will going to attach you the previous video links in the description. Please follow that. It will be able to be given installation steps also. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.